What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. So I want to talk to you guys about something today that I don't think many people have talked about, to be honest with you. I know that Elliot Hulse, Yo Elliot, he's definitely talked about it before. And I think because he brought up this subject of like weight training and spirituality. Now, before you guys, I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about, just bear with me, okay? Because some of you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, and some of you guys are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. And either you didn't want to talk about it or you didn't really know how to put it into words. So, let me start at the beginning. So, when you first start training, right? And you come up with the concept of training, you think, okay, well, I want to build my body up. I want to get a little bit bigger. I saw this guy in a magazine. I want to look like him. I want to look better for girls. Or guys, and I want to play sports, etc. So you have like a concept of what you want to accomplish by doing that training, right? So you walk into the gym as a beginner, and the first thing you do is you start to mimic these movements that you've either seen online, or somebody's taught you how to do it, or you've seen pictures of them, whatever the case. We didn't have online back in the day. But you start to mimic these movements, and you start to be consistent with doing these things, the movements, the eating outside of the gym and stuff. And you go from beginner for a little while, and things are a little bit rocky, and you're trying, and things are new, and they're exciting, etc. But it's very much a physical and mental blending together. Like you're getting your mind to make your body do things that it normally doesn't do. So like you're teaching your body new movements, new pathways. You're essentially creating a new version of yourself, right? You're getting very efficient at these movements. Like you're learning what to do, right? But it's a mental and physical kind of struggle, right? And then what happens is there's a point where your body kind of jumps beyond your mind, okay? Bear with me. Your body grows very quickly. Like your brain gets used to doing the movements, and all of a sudden your brain makes that map, and your neurological system moves, and the muscles move, and all of a sudden your muscles keep adapting. They're adapting fast, and your brain pretty much has those pathways mapped out. You enter that intermediate phase where your body is actually kind of moving and growing faster than your brain, because your brain, all it has to do is send the signals, and then once the body moves, it's all it has to do. Now the body has to move, then recover, then grow, recuperate. It has so many more things. So the body kind of moves faster and grows faster while you don't really have to think more than what you were doing. And then there comes to a point where you're advanced, where you're now putting your mind into the workout again to try to get, because your body's kind of maxed out and it kind of levels out and plateaus. Now you have to get, they call the mind-muscle contraction, the mind-muscle connection, and you get in there, the gym, and you can focus mentally, and you can push yourself even harder, right, than you were an intermediate. So it's like your brain and your body are on the same page and they're working together as a beginner. Then you move it to intermediate and your body kind of takes off and does its own thing and just keeps fucking growing. And then it plateaus. Then your brain says, okay, let me come back in. This is very weird, but this is how I explain it. Your brain comes back in and says, okay, let's get back on the same page because we need to go even further, right? And then there's a point after that advanced, which is like, I don't know how to explain it anything other than spiritual. Okay, and that's where bodybuilding, weight training becomes an art. Okay, so if you watch somebody in the gym, if you go to LA Fitness down the street, or Export Fitness, or Gold's Gym, or whatever down the street, you can watch people in there train. Whether it's beginners or most advanced, they have you can pick them out in the gym, right? Then you go watch Tom Platz train, or Dorian Yates train, specifically those guys, right? And they're on this whole fucking other level. Even if you watch Jay Cutler train, they're not on the same level as Dorian Yates. Even if you watch Kevin Levrone, they're all on their own level, but they're in a different place than even the most advanced guys in the gyms are. Now, take the drugs out of it. That's not the drugs. What's happened is they've become, I don't want to say one with the workout. It's very, very strange, guys. Listen. But some of you know what I'm talking about. So let me give you an example. This is a perfect example, right? So there was a time where I specifically remember when I was training as hard as I possibly could, and I didn't have a workout partner, but I had people spot me, right? Whatever. But I remember I was training, and I had, back then, you put your iPod in, like now it's just your phone, but you put your iPod in, and as you're training, the music's blaring in your ears, right? And suddenly, the music's gone, and you're mid-set, and you can hear ringing, not ringing, you can hear the breaths inside your head. You can't even hear the music, but you can hear inside your head, right? And you can't hear or feel anything except what's in your hands and those muscles. It's weird. Like the muscles themselves and the weight, you feel it contracting, right? and you get to that last rep and you fucking grind it out, it's taking everything you got, and you fucking put it on the rack, you fucking, you open your eyes, everything is blurry, you can't hear anything, and all of a sudden, boom, the music comes back, right? And then all of a sudden you're able to focus, right? You literally were fucking out of your mind for however many seconds that you were on that bench. But were you really? That's that spiritual, like you literally can remove yourself from the actual instance you're in, right? And be somewhere else. It's the weirdest fucking thing, right? But that's the place I really feel where you get to explore. And I mean, Arnold was the same way. He trained for like 5 hours in the gym. Like he was in that place. He talks about that state, like he was, when I get a pump, he goes, I feel like I'm coming in the gym, right? Over and over again. Like he's orgasming over and over again. It's not just the pump, it's the training itself too. Like there's an adrenaline burst with it, there's an endorphin rush with it, there is definitely a drug-like effect that you induce in yourself while you're training. Excuse me, allergies are kicking my ass today. But the bottom line is it's like this level above advanced training that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like I'm the only one that ever got there or the pros are the only ones, but there's that level. And when you get to that level at a certain point and you sustain that level, training takes on like a whole different feel, whole different meaning. Everything just changes. And that's where it becomes, I feel like, essential to be in the gym and training, not just for your, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying advanced and intermediate, even intermediate kind of can fuck off. They don't really care sometimes. But advanced people really need to be in the gym because they're well on their path to that next level, that spiritual version of training. And without being in the gym training, I'm talking about the gyms being locked down, right? People say it's not essential. Without the advanced people staying on that path to get to that next point by training, by practicing, right? Repetition every day in the gym, pushing themselves a little harder, a little harder, a little harder. They never make it to that point, right? Now, I don't understand what that point, if there's anything after that, because what happens is when you get to that point of spirituality training, your mind transcends your body. Your mind goes farther than your body at this point. So remember, intermediate, your body went further than your mind. Now your mind goes further than your body. Your mind starts conceiving things that your body just can't keep up with. And that's when injuries occur, like pec tears, rotator cuff tears, whatever the case may be, torn muscles, torn tendons, and stuff like that. Because your brain is actually conditioned to go further than your body can actually go. Now, I'm not saying injuries don't occur from doing stupid shit. I'm not saying that at all. My pec tear was stupid shit. But what I'm saying is I've been to that point before where even when I had a training partner, right? And when I was younger especially, we really liked to we weren't the assholes in the gym screaming at each other because our fucking gym was a bodybuilding gym. Like it wasn't like a fitness gym where if we were like, come on, one more, they're like, what are those assholes over there? Or if we dropped the weights, our gym we could do whatever the fuck we wanted. And that's the gyms that I trained in. They were hardcore bodybuilding gyms. They had some fitness enthusiasts in there, but these gyms were bodybuilder friendly all the way because bodybuilders ran them and owned them. So it was a very different aspect back then in those gyms that we were training in. But there comes that point where you transcend the physical part of training. And I don't know, like I said, I don't really understand it. I've never studied it. I've never really even looked into it. I just know it's something that happens, and I've seen other people go through it, and you can tell when someone's training if they're in that spot, if they're in that zone, if they're in that place where they're so into their mind that they're actually like out of their body, like their body's moving and doing what they want it to do, but it's really their mind that's controlling the whole situation. They're so in their mind that they don't even know you're there. And those training partners I was talking about, like at my other gyms, I'd be like fucking on rep 5 or whatever, and Donnie'd be like, 2 more, and he'd be screaming at me. I didn't hear a fucking word he was saying. He was spotting me like 2 inches from my face, fucking trying to make sure that my elbows, and I'm fucking doing this. I can't even hear a word he's fucking saying. Like the music in your iPod disappears, his voice disappeared. Like it was the strangest fucking thing. And then when you stop, you're hearing this stuff comes back. Now some people go, well, Jerry, it's high blood pressure. You're not understanding it. The hormonal reaction to that training is not just a physical thing. Like it's an emotional, mental thing. And we don't even realize how conditioned we're getting that when someone tries to go work out with you that isn't at that level, they can't get there. Like they fatigue and it's weird because it's like David Goggins says, like when your body goes to give out, you literally have 40% more left in you. Your body, when your brain starts to fucking, tell your body what to do, all of a sudden you have this renewed energy and you can keep going further. And you have 40% more than you thought you had because it's in like this reserve that only your brain knows about, right? But you are your brain, right? It's this complicated fucking thing, guys, that you're probably like, what the fuck, Jerry? If you're an intermediate, if you're a beginner, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. If you're advanced, leveling up to that position, you're at the point you're advanced that you're understanding some of the things I'm talking about, just wait. If you keep going, you'll know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Training ceases to become a physical thing and becomes a spiritual thing. And that actually kind of boils over into your physique. So when you get to that level, you're getting closer and closer to your peak physique. You're able to push your body to a place that you couldn't when you were advanced. So as you're in that spiritual realm, you're getting closer and closer to the peak of what your body's going to do. And the problem is you don't know where the peak is. Peak is here, injury is here. So there's this very thin line that you're straddling between being at your peak and your best and efficient and optimal, and the injury that's going to cause it all to go away. And I think that's a place that many people train in, especially Dorian Yates was like that. And he said that if he could go back, he would take more rest periods and stuff off. He'd still train like he did, but he would take more rest periods to try to make sure he was recovered more so he wouldn't get injured. But once you get into that mode of training, if you go back to just, training like it was an advanced day where you're training hard, but you're not at that level where you're kind of spacing out during the sets and stuff, it's almost like you didn't have a good workout. It's very hard once you get to that spiritual place that you're training at to get out of it for even one workout, because you feel like you're not progressing, you're not going forward, like you're going backwards, which is true. But sometimes there are days we need to go backwards so that we can go forwards 2 steps the next day or the day after. But the bottom line is there's a strange spiritual place that training will take you if you're there long enough. And at that point, weight training ceases to become a physical manifestation. It becomes an art. And that's where these crazy rep ranges come in and people experiment with these crazy high rep schemes and stuff. It's because they're mentally locked in that place where they can push themselves to do a set of squats for 50 reps nonstop. Somebody like Tom Platz, nonstop, he squatted 225. I think it was like 8 minutes or something like that. It was either 8 or 10 minutes. And he fucking went into oxygen debt, passed out, went to the hospital. They fucking revived him, gave him oxygen and stuff. A few hours later when he was released from the hospital, he came back to Gold's and finished his workout. That's that spiritual level. It's not an advanced trainer. Like people say it's crazy. It's not crazy. It's something you don't understand because you haven't been there yet. But if you stay on track and keep pushing, you will get there and you will understand that there's a level that makes training not training. It makes it life. BioStrengthTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. BioStrength.com is the blog. It's the Training is Life bicep, and we are out.